سوريا تعود لتتصدر المشهد في الإعلام العبري، ونتنياهو يعقد جلسات طارئة وسط تطورات مشتعلة. لكن ماذا يخشى الإسرائيليون من المعركة في سوريا؟ وكيف تنعكس هذه المخاوف على حدودهم؟ دونالد ترامب يتحدث عن مستقبل الشرق الأوسط ويوجه رسالة نارية لإيران، بينما يكشف سفير أمريكي سر سقوط الخاطف لحلب، يأتي قائد إسرائيلي ليحذر المعارضة السورية. مرحبا بكم في برنامج هالة ترند. سوريا خطفت الأضواء في الإعلام العبري بسبب التطورات في سوريا. نتنياهو يعقد جلسات طارئة، فماذا قالوا في الإعلام العبري عن المعركة في סוריה?
מי אתה מהמר? איפה אתה שם את הז'יטונים שלך? על אסד או על השד יודע מי זה המורדים?
אני מאחל לתיקו רב מפגעים. יש בישראל שנים הלקאה על זה שבשנים של המרד, שבהם כל מה שהיה צריך כדי שאסד ייפול, היה מין איזה דבר כזה קטן, מכונית תופת קטנה, ישראל לא נקפה אצבע. אז האם הפעם ישראל תלקוט משהו משמעותי יותר?
השאלה שלי הייתה, מה עדיף לנו? שאסד ייפול וכל אני מזכיר לך די, כל הטויוטות יתפשטו בסוריה, או שאסד ישרוד, לאחל בהצלחה לשני הצדדים ולהתפלל שימשיכו להילחם כמה שיותר זמן.
אנחנו בשבועות האחרונים, במסגרת המלחמה בלבנון, דיברנו על זה שיכול להיות שיש פה הזדמנות שאסד יעדיף את סעודיה והאמירויות ואת חיק המערב על חיק רוסיה ואיראן. ואירוע מהסוג הזה דוחק את אסד חזרה באופן ישיר לידיים של איראן ורוסיה.
مش قلت لكم احنا بالنسبة إلهن عرب وفخار يطبش بعضه؟ الشعوب مستقبلها حريتها امانها استقلالها مش مهم إلهن.
תסתכל על האנשים האלה, זה לא המורדים הסורים הטובים במרכאות, אלא המורדים הסורים שהם יותר מזוהי אל-קאידה, מזוהי תחריר השם, רוצים להיות ג'יהאד עולמי. אלה לא מורדים סורים נחמדים, לא מורדים סורים שאפשר לעשות איתם עסקים, ואני אומר את זה בהשוואה למורדים הסורים המתונים של צבא סוריה החופשית, שאיתם מספרים שלפני כעשור ישראל כן עשתה עסקים וכן ידעה לעבוד בגולן הסורי כדי להרחיק את דאעש מצד אחד ואת צבא אסד ואת האיראנים מצד שני. אז בטווח הקצר נאחל הצלחה לשני הצדדים ושיהיו נחושים. ובטווח הארוך יש כאן גם פוטנציאל לפגיעה בציר השיעי הרדיקלי בראשות איראן, הולך מטהרן דרך עיראק ועד דמשק וביירות לים, וכמובן אנחנו מאוד מקווים שזה ירתק עוד כוחות איראנים וחיזבאללהיים, עוד תשומת לב שלהם, עוד החלשות שלהם.
دونالد ترامب في لقاء يتحدث عن مستقبل الشرق الأوسط ويتوعد إيران.
Very close to having a nuclear weapon. You have to understand, I didn't want much. All I wanted is you can never have a nuclear weapon. I didn't want much. I wanted Iran to be very successful. I just don't want them to have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
Because that's the real threat. The real threat isn't global warming. The real threat is nuclear warming. Okay? That's the real warming. Because, you know, I'm the one that rebuilt our military. I rebuilt the whole military. And part of what I rebuilt is the nuclear. And I hated to do it, but we had to because China has it, Russia has it, you know, et cetera. But I know more about nuclear than anybody because, and I can just only tell you this, the power is obliteration, okay? It's not, I always say it's not two army tanks running around each other.
What's going to happen to Iran with you by the end of your administration?
I'm not asking I would like to see Iran be very successful. The only thing is they can't have a nuclear weapon.
Are you okay with the same administration and way of governing stays, or would you like to see it go back to the 70s when Shah's was running it and Iran was one of the top 3 countries in tourism?
We can't get totally involved in all that. You know, I mean, we can't run ourselves. Let's face it.
Sure.
Patrick, we can't run ourselves.
You put sanctions, that's going to, they don't have, the people are going to turn and flip on them. It's not going to be what should... I think if you would have
When I handed it over, I told them, right now, make a deal with Iran, they'll do anything. They want to make a deal with me. They wanted, had that election not been rigged and stolen, I will tell you right now, we would have no problems anywhere in the world. You know, Viktor Orban, you know, he's a very tough guy and a very smart guy. And he's, you know, some of the European countries don't like him because he's, you know, smart.
Makes sense.
And they do things that aren't so smart. But he said, they said, what's happening? The whole world is blowing up now. The Middle East, and Russia, Ukraine. I mean, now all of a sudden, you know, I mean, it's getting really bad over there. I'll tell you, the Russia, Ukraine, getting really bad. You could have World War III, and we have 2 people, her and him, and she's not as smart as Biden. Biden, believe it or not, and this is a very small group of people fit into this category, he's smarter than she is, okay? You have a problem. And even the 3 or 4 months left, that's a lot of months. That's a lot of time left. You could have World War III before I would take office, even if I were.
So let me ask you this.
This country is in, the world is in grave danger. But you know what Viktor Orban said? He said, if Trump comes back in, everything's solved. He said when he ran it, we had no wars, we had no problems. Now, he used the term they were afraid of Trump. I don't want to use that term because it's like, but they were. They were afraid of me. They didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And that included Russia. Don't forget, they always said, oh, I'm so close to Putin. I had a good relationship with Putin. I had a good relationship with President Xi. But what did I do to Putin? I ended the pipeline going to Germany and all over Europe. The biggest job they've ever had is the pipeline going all over Europe. I terminated it. Think of it. Do you think that's a good relationship? No. Putin said, you know, I'd hate to see you if you were angry at us. You understand? But what did I do? First, earlier, and then you go, well, Trump was in the pocket of Russia. Trump was in the pocket. I ended the biggest job they've ever done, a job that made more money. Biden comes in, and what does he do? He approves it. He lets it go forward. It was dead. It was never going to happen. And what else did he do? He took the Keystone pipeline, which was our pipeline, which should have been approved, and he terminated it just before construction was started.
They've lost credibility at this point. But with Iran, so here's one thing. The reason why I'm asking this, I lived in Iran almost 11 years, and I was, you know,
Are you Iranian?
I was born Armenian, mother side, Assyrian, father side. You gave a shout out to Assyrians the other day in Arizona. It was great seeing Assyrians for Trump. But I'm asking,
you know why they were there? They were so nice. I met this. They said, the Assyrians, they said, could you give us a shout out? I said, who are you? I didn't know. They said, we're Assyrians. I said, what does that mean? But they were really nice people. And I said, I think I mispronounced it a little, but I said
you did. You got to write this down. But going back to Iran. So last topic on this, I just want to clear this up. So Qasem Soleimani, you take him out. That's their hero. That's their general pattern. When you take him out, they want to seek vengeance. So now, hey, they're targeting you. They're coming after you. Assassination attempts, all this stuff. They create these videos that they're going to come. We haven't forgotten that you took our hero out. Great. When Reagan got elected, remember they released, was it 59 prisoners, who had been held hostage for 444 days? If I'm getting the numbers right, can you see 59, 444 days? What's the number?
52 Americans, 444
days. Boom. The minute inauguration, they released them. Khomeini, right? And it's like, oh, this guy's going to do something about it. This is my question for you. Say you win November 5th. Say it's a landslide. Say it's done, okay? From November 5th to you're going back to putting your hand in inauguration on the stage. During that time, that season, what do you think is going to happen during that season? Is during that season Russia, Ukraine going to be done? During that season, you think it's going to be that quickly? Or do you think it's going to be after?
I think the world's going to behave, and I think I will settle Russia, Ukraine while I'm president-elect.
While you're president-elect?
While I'm president-elect.
Wow.
You need that credibility.
Sure.
While I'm president-elect, I will settle it. You know, I met with Zelensky the other day. I have good relationship with Putin and with Zelensky.
He didn't look too happy standing next to you, though.
Well, look, this is a war that should have never happened. You have millions of people that are dead, much more than you're reading about. You know, when you see these, I was amazed at how big. I'm in the real estate business, to put it mildly.
Sure.
So I know buildings. Those buildings were massive. You know, they were long rather than tall. They were 12 to 15 stories, but they went like for blocks. They were massive buildings. Rockets were hitting the buildings. They were collapsing. A lot of people were killed. You hear 2 people were injured. No. Many people were killed. That war is much more deadly than they're telling you. It has to be settled. But here's the problem. It should have never happened. If I were president, that war would have never happened. Putin would have never done it. The war would have never happened.
You're saying,
without even a settlement. But
you're saying after November 5th, as a president-elect, you're saying things are going to get done during that time?
I'd like to be able to do it.
How about Iran and Israel? What about that one?
Well, that depends. A lot's happening right now.
I know
we're going to have to see what happens.
Okay.
That one is a very interesting one. And it's become more interesting because Israel didn't listen to Biden and her. and did what they wanted to do, and they put themselves in a pretty strong position. I mean, let's face it, who would have thought this was going to happen? Everybody was very afraid of Iran. They're less afraid of Iran now. What they did to Hezbollah and Hamas, if you take a look at
Nasrallah, they took everybody out. I mean, the pagers there.
No, the whole thing with the pagers.
Right.
It was from the pagers that, because those were your leaders. I mean, those were the leaders. It was like 2,000 or 3,000.
And the guy that replaced them, they took him out as well. I mean, that was that, because nobody wants that job. And I was like, hey, would you like this job? I'll pass. I don't want the job. Right.
So it's a different, it's a different story. But only because Bibi did not listen to Biden. Biden wanted everything to just sort of foment. They wouldn't listen to him.
Do you think Bibi will listen to you?
Which tells you, do I what?
Do you think Bibi will listen to you?
Yeah. Oh, he'll listen to me 100%.
100%.
100%. Don't forget, I got them Golan Heights.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to get it for as long as they were around. But more importantly than that, I ended the Iran nuclear deal, which was Bibi fought like hell to have it. Remember that? Fought like hell. Came in to see Obama, fought. And I also got him, very important, I helped them with their military, everything else, but I got him Jerusalem, capital. Not only did I get it for him,
قائد إسرائيلي يحذر في حال هزيمة المعارضة السورية للنظام الأسد ففي المستقبل سنراهم على حدودنا.
כותרות, אתה יודע, כאילו זה נראה רחוק בעומק סוריה, בצפון סוריה, שם באידלי, בחלב וכולי. מהר מאוד זה יכול לעבור לגבול, כבר היה לנו את זה בגבול, זה כבר אצלכם בחשיבה, זה משהו שמעסיק היום?
ראשית, זה מעסיק אותנו מאוד. באופן כללי, הסיטואציה של חוסר יציבות במזרח התיכון לנו לא עושה טוב. אם זה ילך לזה שהמורדים יביסו את צבא סוריה, נמצא את כולם בעתיד על גבולותינו. אם צבא סוריה יתעשת, זה כנראה תוצר של סיוע איראני, צירי, משמעותי. ככה שני הדברים אינם לטובתנו. אבל באופן כללי אני מציע לתת לזמן לעשות את שלו. מי שרוצה, אז יאחל לשני הצדדים בהצלחה. אבל בעיקר אנחנו צריכים להיות ערוכים להתפתחותם של איומים מהזירה המזרחית ולהיות נכונים לסכל אותם ככל ש...